A sustainable shoe company called Allbirds just rebranded as New Bird AI. After years of selling wool sneakers, they just raised $50 million to become a GPU cloud provider. Their stock immediately jumped 600%. Investors were willing to overlook a footwear brand's total lack of infrastructure experience because the global shortage of physical compute is so severe. This scramble for hardware reflects a change in how software operates. Artificial intelligence is evolving from a chatbot that answers questions into an agent, a system that autonomously executes multi-step business processes over several days. The shoe company's pivot reveals the new reality of the tech economy. Physical infrastructure has become the ultimate bottleneck for digital action. Google formalized this transition at Cloud Next, launching a platform to deploy and govern fleets of persistent, autonomous agents at enterprise scale. The financial data confirms the demand. Within 24 hours of each other, Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and Amazon all reported blowout first-quarter earnings fueled by AI-driven workloads. To maintain this momentum, these four companies will spend $700 billion on infrastructure in 2026, an investment exceeding the annual GDP of most countries. Despite these record numbers, every CEO shared the same sentiment. They would spend more if supply chains allowed it. Owning the physical environment for autonomous software is now the defining competitive moat of the decade. The industry has reached an operational pivot point called the inference inflection. The race to build supercomputers for training models is being overtaken by the need to run those models in production. Because agentic workflows run in continuous loops, global computing demand has surged approximately 1 million times in just 2 years. This surge is reviving demand for traditional processors. AI agents require massive CPU resources for reinforcement learning simulations and the software environments where they perform their work. Efficiency is shifting into a new discipline called harness engineering. Performance now depends on the orchestration layer, the scaffolding that manages memory, retries errors, and coordinates multi-agent swarms. Competitive advantage belongs to the organizations capable of running these complex harnesses at the lowest physical cost. Samsung's semiconductor division illustrates the scale of this hardware boom. Their operating profit grew 48 times in a single year, driven almost entirely by the memory chips needed for AI data centers. Samsung is now mass-producing next-generation HBM4 memory, yet they have already warned that the supply-demand gap will continue to widen into 2027. Limits on terrestrial power and cooling are pushing infrastructure to the physical edge. One startup, StarCloud, reached a $1 billion valuation in 17 months by raising capital to put AI data centers in orbit. The digital software expansion is no longer bound by code, but by the availability of raw, physical materials. This expansion is eroding the economic models that funded the web. 93% of Google AI mode searches end without a single click to an external website, as agents extract the value of content without directing traffic back to the creators. A research paper titled "The AI Layoff Trap" identifies a deeper risk, framing corporate automation as a classic game theory prisoner's dilemma. When a company automates a job, it captures all savings, but the resulting loss in consumer spending hits the entire economy. Standard interventions fail because they don't remove the individual marginal incentive to replace humans with agents to increase profit. Google already reports that 75% of its new code is AI-generated, a shift that occurred alongside a 20% drop in junior developer employment. These rational, individualized corporate choices are creating a mathematical feedback loop that erodes the consumer demand necessary for these companies to exist. The only viable solution found in the simulations was a Pigouvian automation tax. By mirroring the cost of lost demand back onto the company, it acts as a speed governor on displacement. Implementing regulatory friction requires a total reversal of current momentum in the tech industry, where the race for autonomous agents has no built-in brakes. A sneaker company buys GPUs. Hyperscalers commit $700 billion to an infrastructure at odds with the stability of human labor. The growth of AI is colliding with the hard constraints of the physical world, the power needed to run the hardware, and the stability of the human systems that fund it.